Hello, COM 110 folks. I hope you guys are doing well and having a great week and hanging in there. I know this is a busy time of the semester, but I just finished grading all of the how-to speeches and thought, since we're getting ready to do our informative speeches this coming week, thought this would be a good opportunity to reiterate some things that I saw in your how-to speeches. There were some definite trends that I think you could work on that will give you a better outcome when the informative speeches come around. That first speech, your how-to speech, was an icebreaker. I consider that an opportunity for you to work out your jitters, to work out your problems with technology. If you covered adequately the topic that you chose, you got a 20 on content. Do not expect that this time. This is a different speech. This is a different level. We want a college level speech. We want a serious topic in most cases. And it has to be cited. It's going to have a more formal feel to it. So I'm going to grade them tougher. So take a step back, take a look at your speech, make sure it matches all of those criteria, and then let's get going. Okay, I think the first thing that I noticed is that you are not all following the rubric. You might be surprised if you saw the grades to know that some people, if you looked at their speech, you may think, well, that wasn't that great of a speech. But they may have actually scored higher than some people who looked better because those people may not have followed the rubric. Now, you may have your opinions about how important it is to have rubrics. And you may go, well, what difference does it make if I'm a good speaker? What difference does it make if I follow a stupid rubric? Well, that's all fine and good. But the reason for the rubric is that this is a speech class, and there are specific things that we want to make sure that you're learning. So that's where the rubric comes in. It's fair to you. This is what I'm looking for. I am looking for everything here. If you do everything on this rubric, it is very possible you could get a 100. So it's not all that hard. Of course, it's easier said than done, right? Follow the rubric. When you finish writing your outline, when you finish writing your paper, which will become your speech, go back through the rubric. Did you do the introduction? Did you do all 5 elements in the introduction? So many people didn't. I could tell the people that had looked at the rubric by their introduction. Motivate your specific audience to listen. Who is your audience? How can you make them listen? What does it mean to them? Why do they care? So if you're making a easy dish, say in our how-to speeches, if you were making an easy dish, then you might want to say, here's something that you could take the next time you have to go to a party and have to take a dish. Simple as that. If you are showing some kind of art, you could say, here's something that you could hang on that empty place on your wall. If you're showing a swim stroke, you might say to them, here's an opportunity. If you've ever tried to swim and you thought, I'm just not getting anywhere, this might be why. Let me show you what a really good front crawl looks like. That kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. So really work on those. Look at the rubric. Make sure you're including everything in your introduction, everything in your conclusion. Several of you put bright lights behind you. There were only a few of you where it was so bad that I took off major points. Most of you, I could kind of look and see your gestures and kind of see your facial expressions. I am not going to give as much leeway on that this time. I want to see your face. So make sure if you are showing, like some of you had slides, and the slides were so bright behind you that you fell into the dark. This is not going to work. You've got to figure out where to point your camera so that you can see your face. Maybe you show the slide and then you zoom in. Or maybe you stand off to one side. Or maybe you make sure that your slide is darker so it's not causing your camera to white balance, and that's what's happening, right? It's balancing on the lighter, and so it's throwing you into the dark. So make sure that you can see, that I make sure that I can see your face. Look at these videos when you're finished with them. If they're not right, do them again. That's one of the nice things about taking a class like this and doing your public speeches like this, is if it didn't look right, you can do it again. So that is one of the benefits. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is writing for the ear. Don't use big, long, eloquent sentences. Don't use long run-on sentences. Most of your speaking is going to have to be simple and clear. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use creative language and great illustrations and that kind of thing. But just make sure that it's simple enough that when people hear it and can't go back and read it again a couple of times so that they understand it, that they will understand it the first time. Those are just a couple of things that I would love for you to keep in mind. I look forward to your informative speeches. If you have questions along the way, I am more than happy to answer those. If you're not sure what direction to go, use me as a resource. Have fun with this, and I'll see you on your informative speeches.